There's a little bit of a delay. Let's see. The audio streaming, it should be. It says wait. Oh, okay. All right, good. We're on the screen here. We're live.
Read the open public meeting notice?
Yes.
Before I call the order. Okay, hi everybody. Hi. Sorry for the delay. This meeting is being called to order at 7:22 p.m. I'm going to read the Open Public Meetings Act notice. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Sunshine Law, annual notice having been published on or about July 1st, 2023, in 2 local newspapers with a copy on file with the board secretary and a copy to be posted to the TCCS website.
Is the link working?
Yeah, the audio should be running right now. If you may have to refresh it. We've got several people listening in right now, according to YouTube. Yeah, the link is right on the homepage.
Okay, the first thing is approval of minutes from 7/5/2023 in the closed session. Minutes from 7/5/2023. Can I have a motion to approve?
No, but I sent the open
Open.
one and May's
Yes.
as well. Okay, I'll send those right now.
Okay.
And we can,
So we're just gonna approve, we're gonna table. closed
That's fine.
session.
do you want to table it for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can-
table closed session. A motion to approve the minutes from 7/5 open session. Get a motion?
Motion.
A second? We go for motion second. Stacy, all in favor? Open session minutes approved from July 5th.
Would you like to turn it over to me now?
Yes, turning it over to Mr. Gallo for
Okay.
the director's report.
Thank you. So nice to see everybody. Welcome to the official of the 23-24 school year. As you know, our earlier meeting had to be postponed. So it's great to have everyone back here together to take care of some business that we've actually covered over the summer. Some of this stuff is a little bit retroactive, but some of it is really getting ready for the new year. So starting off, we've got our enrollment update. We are technically almost at full enrollment. We have one outstanding student who's coming into 8th grade. We're just waiting on documentation, but otherwise all spots are filled for the coming year. Historically, we'll have a better idea once the first day of school comes, if there were any families who relocated and failed to tell us or things like that. It's not out of the norm for us to sometimes get a couple openings that come up in the first week of school or so, when parents decide then to tell us, oh yeah, sorry, we're not coming. But typically, that we find out early enough. But otherwise, we are at full enrollment except for that one spot in 8th grade, which is in the process of being filled. Facility updates. Well, first and foremost, as you can see, the lighting project in the cafeteria is finished. For those of you who have been around for a while since we moved into this building, this has been a transformative upgrade to this room. It always felt sort of basement-y, dungeon-y here for quite some time. Even with the lights that we had in here, at one point we tried to change the fixtures to LED, and it really made no difference. But these new lights are actually really, a wonderful thing for the space. It's going to be great for the kids at lunch. Kenya, our cafeteria coordinator, she was just extremely grateful that it's going to make things a little bit easier during lunchtime to allow the kids to see what they're eating and really kind of just make it a little bit more of a hospitable space than the lighting before. So that was great. That's obviously finished. We are still finishing off our fire alarm upgrades, which we've been talking about for some time. They will be done hopefully by the end of the week. They're just replacing a couple more of the sensors and things like that, but the entire panel has been upgraded and it's probably about 3 times the size of our old panel. So it's really a much more modern system, and that's going to be good for us for drills and just for overall building safety. So that's just about complete. Some of the other things that we talked about earlier in the year, they were in process the first time that we met this summer, but all the speakers have been installed in the classrooms, which has been, great for announcements and bells and emergency situations. That's done. All of the new blinds and new shades in the classrooms and in some of the common hallway areas have also been completed. So again, that was part of our security upgrades for lockdowns and things like that. That's all finished. All of the classroom doors have been upgraded to allow for push button locks, which again is another safety feature to really bring us up to speed with best practices for lockdowns and other security protocols. Those were really the main ones that we talked about this year. What was that? Oh, the new tables. Yeah. We actually bought the tables. It feels like 8 months ago. But we actually unwrapped them and we had them out today to start off our week of training with the staff. Again, it's just, a pop of color, new lights in here. It really transforms the space. So it's great. So all in all, we have a couple of things that we still have to finish off in terms of summer maintenance for the hallways and the main hallway. But we will certainly be ready for the first day of school next Tuesday in a new and improved facility situation. So it's great. Any questions about facility? Okay. Moving on to our district goals for 23-24. Let me see. I'm sharing my screen here, but up here, I've got it somewhere else. So I'm not totally accustomed to this setup. Perfect. Great. So this morning, obviously, we met with the staff and welcomed everybody back. And one of the things that we did was we introduced our district goals for the coming school year, which I also shared with everybody in advance to sort of start to absorb and take that into consideration as we get into the new year. As is typically the case, our district goals are very much tied into the feedback that we get from our surveys at the end of the school year, whether it be the faculty surveys, the parent surveys, student surveys. And you'll see that in really what we've chosen for this year for our 5 main goals. So the first one is just utilizing data to improve student achievement. Obviously, for many years, we've talked about how we do collect data, how we use data. This year, we want to actually take that to the next level by we've actually made a bit of an investment into a data warehouse company called Linkit, which will take all of our student data, all of our assessment data, things like that, whether it be from the state or from our in-house assessments, and it's going to really give the teachers an opportunity to find out what skills need to be worked on by specific students. It's going to make sure that there is some sort of fidelity between the in-house assessments that we give and the state assessments to make sure that we're really looking for the right things when we're actually testing our kids and seeing what they know. So that's going to make a big difference in terms of improving our overall test scores, hopefully from the state level, and in terms of holding kids accountable for understanding, what their own data means. That's going to actually kind of change the way that we look at that as well. When I present the state assessments, we'll talk a little bit more about, how we looked in-house compared to how we actually performed last year. Those official scores haven't come out yet, so I'm not really at liberty to discuss it at a public meeting. But it is something that we do, obviously take a lot of consideration into. We don't teach the test. We don't just try to, test kids to the point where that's what we're all about. Obviously, some of our other goals show that we are really more in tune with experiential learning and what happens outside of the classroom. But as a reality that we have to face is, as a charter school, one of the main factors that we are looked at and judged about is how we perform on these standardized tests and how we do in comparison to the local district, how we do compared to other charter schools. So it is something that is very serious in regards to, what it means for us as a school. So that's why we made it goal number 1, and we talked to the staff about that this morning. All right. Goal number 2 has to do with improving student discipline and accountability. If you recall the surveys from the parent perspective, from the teacher perspective, not so much from the kids' perspective, but it really talked about the need to really reinforce positive behavior by students, have a really firm and consistent discipline code that we're able to enforce. So this summer, Sonia put a team together with members of our staff. We had a couple of parents, board member, participate in the process to sort of review the work that they did. And what you're going to see is an entirely revamped discipline code that will go along with some of the new rules that we're going to be putting into effect for upper school, especially. But when you see the handbook and when the kids get their information on the first day of school, there's going to be a new focus on this whole discipline and accountability piece that Sonia's going to talk a little bit more about, later in the meeting. But that is definitely one of our major goals, considering that it was so prominent on the surveys. Next has to do with increasing hands-on learning opportunities for all students. At its core, our mission has to do with experiential learning, has to do with expanding the four walls of the school here, and giving kids an opportunity to learn in ways that they don't get to learn elsewhere, right? That's why our parents send their kids here. That's the experience that we want to provide to them. So we have made investments in resources and equipment. When it comes to STEAM, we're going to have a STEAM studio, which is going to be put into effect for this year with 3D printing. We're actually going to be able to use the recording studio for morning announcements and things like that. Other projects, that room is being sort of rebranded as the STEAM studio, which is going to be a great addition to what we're able to offer. And in addition, I talked to all the teachers this morning about something that we talked about at the board level. And that's making sure that we've got equitable sort of field trips across all the grades. So I said that, for each grade level, I want to see at least 2 to 3 field trips. We've got budgeting for it. Some grades obviously will take considerably more. In kindergarten, they try to do one a month. And in some of the older grades, they don't do as many, but when they do, it's a real, valid experience. And sometimes it costs a little bit more. So we try to weigh out, what the experiences cost versus what we've budgeted. But overall, we do want to make sure that we get the kids out of the building and into these opportunities. And I also talked to the staff this morning about really building on what we started last year as a committee, as a communications committee, and that's bringing in parents from our community who have expertise, who have real professional experience in a lot of these fields that we teach about, to bring them in and give them the opportunity to show the kids what it's about, or to invite them to their workplaces and things like that. So that's another focus of what we want to do, again, stemming from the surveys. Next one has to do with improving communication and procedures regarding special ed. We talked a lot about this at the end of last year, making sure that people understand the INRS process, understanding, how we focus our instruction when it comes to students with special needs, and making sure that parents understand that as well. So, Christina and I and Sonia have talked a lot about what that's going to look like going forward for this year. But it is, in response to some of these things that we've gotten from our surveys, whether it be from the faculty and some parents, to make sure that there's common understandings when it comes to that. So that's goal number 4. And then finally, as is, up there with student achievement, the other major priority of the school is always going to be safety and security. So along with that, obviously, we're going to be reviewing our safety protocols and making sure that they're up to speed. Something that we talked a lot about last year was making sure that parents understand what our drills are all about, understand the reason that we do them, what the expectations are in the event of an emergency and things like that. So that's all, on the table for this year when it comes to our goal number 5. We're also doing extensive training with the staff on lockdowns and responding to emergencies and things like that, that we haven't really had in a formalized way in several years. So that's going to be important. And then finally, when it comes to security measures, visitor management, monitoring hallways and doors and things like that. That is the other thing that we're really looking at. One of the things that we're approving tonight is just a revamped job description for utility aid, which is, essentially a security feature that we have where they're going to monitor the hallways, make sure the doors are, always shut, making sure that they monitor visitors as they come in and out and things like that. So, again, it's all things that we strive to when it comes to making sure that the building is safe, building is secure, and that we're up to date with all the best practices when it comes to that. So those are our 5 main goals. I presented to the staff this morning. And it's really setting the stage for what we want to accomplish this year. We're going to revisit them obviously throughout the year. A lot of them tie back into our strategic plan. But at the end of the year, when we look to see how we really did, these are the 5 things that we're going to be gauging them on most specifically to make sure that we are hitting the mark with those requirements. Any questions about the district goals from the board or anybody out there in the vast audience? Perfect. All right. So thank you. Yeah. So you know, I'm happy to have these prepared already, and you know, it's rather than wait a couple months into the school year. We're definitely ahead of the ball. Now I'm going to turn it over to Sonia. She's got a couple things she needs to touch on in regards to personnel and some of the other things going on in the school.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go over a couple personnel updates that we have. We had some new staff that were able to attend training today and some that may be listening in to our board meeting because we did tell them that if you cannot attend, we will be live. So hopefully they're streaming in and listening. We have a new first grade teacher by the name of Genesis Betancourt, a new fifth and sixth grade science teacher named John McGovern, a new 7-8 social studies teacher, Rosangela Mendoza, our Spanish teacher officially, Addie Orrs. We have a new head custodian, Mark Dempsey, and we're still going with the agency for the nurse. So we have 2 nurses that are sharing the time here. The names are May Batularan and Lily Kang. And then Miss Christina has 2 new in special ed department. What we're sharing.
We've hired Linda today. She is going to be our part-time learning consultant. She'll be here 3 days a week to do, you know, the case management, but also, you know, getting into the classroom and supporting the teachers and being more present in the classrooms themselves. Pam Rosario was almost a full-time substitute. She's here
Yeah.
a lot. She is now one of our paraprofessionals who's going to help support as kindergarten and 3rd and 4th grade at the beginning of the year, but she also recently received her ELL, English Language Learner certification. And based upon what is the WIDA assessment, which is the assessment that's given to assess the language proficiency of English language learners, we have kind of crossed over that mark of now we actually need a certified teacher to support the students every single day more formally. So she is going to be a part-time ELL teacher and part-time paraprofessionals. That way we have the support for the subgroup of students who need it. And then I don't know if anyone remembers Rosine. She was here 2 years ago. Unfortunately, she wasn't here last year. She's with Care Plus. And she is a Care Plus therapist to provide a lot more mental health and counseling support for students, wraparound services for families. So she will be here about 3 days a week.
And while we're on the topic on school personnel, I just wanted to jump into like the teacher mentor plan. With all our new staff, we always provide a teacher mentor. There's specific certifications in the New Jersey Department of Education. We have to give them a mentor, but we also give teachers with standard certification who are new to TCCS mentors. And so our mentors that will be in the resolutions for this evening, for specials, it's Abby. For grades 5 through 8, it's going to be Lauren Scalisi. And for grades K through 2, it's going to be Laura Echo. Those are our mentor teachers that is up for the resolution for tonight. And then you want me to keep going?
Keep going. Just-
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the discipline code review. So like Ralph mentioned earlier, based on the staff surveys, the parent survey, and even some students that even talk about inconsistencies with discipline, we put together a committee. So I sent out an email to the staff and see who was, able and to work this summer and see if they can collaborate with me on looking over the discipline from the school. What we started to do, first I would like to thank the staff who worked on them. I know I have two of the staff here, but Ms. Dana, Ms. Isabel, Ms. Juliana, Athos, and Sean. I know some of them are not here, but their help was greatly appreciated. What we did was we began by reviewing the current policy, 5131, under conduct discipline. We reviewed the student and parent handbook. Then we reviewed TNEX discipline policy 5600. They were very similar. The school's policies were very similar when you talk about conduct and discipline. We had many discussions on developmentally appropriate consequences, logical consequences, loss of privileges, community service options. And then what we did was we reviewed each of the discipline codes that we had in the past, and then we kind of updated and made a new document. Before we presented our work to the staff, students, and parents, we wanted to review and get feedback from some of the parents. So I would like to thank Stacy Bahari, who was here from the board, who participated, and Mr. Rotner. They joined us at the end of the meetings and shared valuable feedback, so we appreciate you. Today, we talked to the staff about the updates and went over everything with them. And I do feel like from hearing from some of the staff that they're ready to implement the strategies that we discussed and to follow the discipline code. We talked about that it's not 100% of what's going to work for everybody, but we did talk about different strategies and how we can follow this and use this as a guideline to the best of our ability. The next step is that we're just hoping we really get the student and parent support. The most important thing is as a community, we can do our part in ensuring that the students are reading the handbook and even going over it with their parents at home so that they can reiterate the importance of everything that's in there, because sometimes students will read it here, we're enforcing it here, and it's so valuable and helpful if the parents are doing that as well at home. So we're going to send a parent handbook that has the updated discipline codes on there. And by the end of the week, because what we did today is after meeting with the staff, we did put some comments, put some sticky notes up here so that they can continue to, give us feedback, because if there's anything that we still need to relook and revise, maybe it's something that we can do before we send the parent handbook this week. Does anyone have any questions about them?
Would you be able to review it at back to school night as well with the families?
The teachers with the families, like like an overall?
Discipline, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. And then maybe the teachers can highlight some of the areas. That's a good suggestion. Mhm. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about PD and training. So the staff was back today for professional development. I would like to thank TCCS for sponsoring breakfast for our first day of training and the teacher gifts and raffles. I want to thank Magdalene, Liza for creating the little backdrop there. Blythe was here today. Natalie was here today helping with food and setup. So thank you all for the teachers, the staff appreciated the breakfast. It was really good. And I want to thank Xiomara for stopping in also and welcoming the staff back and with some great words of encouragement. That was really appreciated. She comes in and says she's not ready. And when she says her message, it was wow. And it was inspiring. So thank you for coming in and taking your time after 20,000 hours coming back from Florida. She made time to come in to speak to our staff. So I'm sure it was very much appreciated. So we have an eventful morning. We were going over district goals, the code of conduct. In the afternoon, we split into groups and we had some working sessions on strengths and areas of improvement at TCCS. We have math PD scheduled, ELA PD, reading disabilities scheduled, AI, Turnitin training, and more safety training planned for the end of this week. So we have a big schedule, and I'm happy to see the staff back this week. I think that's it for staff training.
That's great.
You're welcome.
Okay, so one of the things that we just left the last time we met was the organization of the committees. We had to finalize curriculum. So, and I know, Natalie, you weren't here, but we wanted to talk about who was going to be the chair and who's going to be part of the committee, because a lot of people wanted to be part of it. So I wanted to revisit that with the board and see where we are with that. So I don't know if you would like to be the chair again. That's something that we had also discussed. I know Stacy wants to be part of it. Anthony wants to be part of it. I wanted to be part of it. Enid wanted to be part of it. Keisha wanted to be part of it. So for me, I have to sit on all of the committee meetings. So I'm kind of out of it, but I don't know how many members we can have. We have to definitely not have quorum.
You need to have 4 total, including you. So you could have.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
So chair, head, and then it would be amongst 2 other members. So I don't know how we handle this. Because Enid's not present, and I know she wanted to sit again. But we do have some people who want. So I don't know if we want to have a discussion about who may want to be. Don't table it again. Okay, so September 11th, I'm not going to be present at that meeting, but I really am not, I have to sit anyway. So Anthony, if you want to revisit that on the 11th, that would be great. Okay, all right, so that's it with the committees. Also the board self-evaluation, if you haven't done it yet, please do it. It's really important information we need to get in as soon as possible. There's no committee updates. We sent out, Ralph sent out the first reading for the HIB update that we needed to review.
Yeah, everyone just review that, and we'll have a much more complete reading during our next meeting on the 11th. But really, the things to keep in mind with that, especially in the template, just in addition to the link that we had shared in the last revised HIB policy, which was earlier this year. There's now a new form that we have to use for submitting HIB issues and things like that. In addition to that, we're just going to document and formalize the fact that, by law, now the school principal has discretion to decide whether or not an HIB is valid for the purposes of an investigation or something like that. Right.
So by law, so it used to be anytime that anybody referred a HIB, it had to be fully investigated as a HIB. Now, school principal does have discretion when things are reported directly to Sonia. And then she has discretion to say it doesn't necessarily have to be investigated as a HIB. It's an obvious conduct situation, and handle it more in a behavioral discipline manner as opposed to referring it to me for a formal HIB investigation.
Right. And I mean, just for the record too, I mean, that is the law. That's what we've actually been following since 2022. But we'll just formalize that in terms of the policy, because the policy was a little bit dated. But at our next meeting, we'll have the full version of it with TCCS formatting. Governance is going to be able to work on that in the meantime, we said, right? Great. So that's that.
Really quick question. So the HIB coordinator is you.
I'm the coordinator.
You're the coordinator. Okay. And you've always had that role as coordinator and principal
Well, I used to be the coordinator and the specialist.
and the specialist. Okay. All
And
right.
then when Christina, then we were looking at defining the goals more. When it became the principal, then that it's like you can't be the anti-bullying coordinator and specialist and be the principal making.
Right.
Because she could let herself off the hook and not
Right.
have to do an investigation because it's easier.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And the purpose of her having that discretion is, especially sometimes with our younger kids, like the words "they're bullying me" comes out very quick and easy. It's like, it's a frequent term, which previously in those situations, I would have had to have done a full investigation on it. Now, when situations come out like that, so you would have the discretion to say, maybe it wasn't nice, but it's not necessarily bullying.
Okay.
Quick question with that. What if the coordinator doesn't deem it a HIB problem, but the parents want it to be investigated as a HIB because they think their child may feel them? You
They
just
can
escalate it
appeal,
up.
they can appeal it to the board.
My question is, so because you have a role and you're also the principal, wouldn't that be like a conflict of interest? Like, it's, because you can say, I don't think it's a HIB, but then like a parent gets upset or something, like, does it need to be somebody else to say, oh, refer to the coordinator? I don't know.
No, the coordinator is more like I'm coordinating the programs, like any PD that we're having to talk about HIB. Yeah, so the coordinator is more like developing the program, making sure that we do have a specialist in place. So I think the role is a little bit different.
Right. And the way the law is actually formulated and the way like the policy goes, it's typically for a larger district. So, in many of these cases, we wear several hats. Ultimately, it does go to me as the chief school administrator to give it to you guys as the board, and you have, the opportunity to review it and accept it and whatnot. But yeah, we've even run this by the county. They're aware of the dual role that Sonia plays. They also knew before the law changed that she was doing both too, and it was approved by the county. So yeah, it's not really any kind of conflict or problem. Okay. All right.
So that's right. Public comment resolutions. So opening up to public comment regarding any of the resolutions.
Oh, let me present the resolutions first.
Oh,
I should, so we know what I'm talking about. Well, presentation of resolutions.
Go ahead.
I'll take it. It's good. All right. So we have 16 tonight because we're catching up from the last meeting. We have two budget summaries. The first has to do with the closing out last school year, and the other one has to do with all the bills that we've paid from July 1st until now. We've got the SBA financial report that Tom sent for June. We've got the renewal of our school physician who we worked with last year. We've got the annual report. This is, again, just sort of a formality. It's already been submitted. It's already been distributed as it needed to be to the local district and posted on our website. But this will just formalize the board's acceptance of that. We've got the grant application submissions with the figures that were shared with everyone. This is not accepting the funds. This is actually giving us the opportunity to submit the application, which also is underway. The emergency virtual or remote instruction plan, which can give people some concern. This is a state requirement, and it's actually, if you read the first couple of pages of the plan as I put it out there, every school is now required to have a plan in place in the event that something happens similar to 2020. So rather than have to come up with a new plan in the event of something like that, every school needs to have a general outline of what they would do if they had to go virtual. So again, we've submitted this same plan for the last couple of years, and it's been approved by the state. Also, though, with the caveat that, based on when this happens, if it were ever to happen, which hopefully never again, we've got the full opportunity to customize it to whatever we need it to look like, based on where we're at in the school year and everything else. But we do need to have it just approved and posted on the website as part of the agreement with continuing to get ESSER funding and things like that. We've got personnel appointments for the summer, which again, this is all retroactive. These were people who came in and worked with Sonia for the discipline review and a couple other things. We've got other personnel appointments for the coming school year. I believe Sonia talked about all that before. We've got extracurricular appointments for the coming school year. For a lot of our different extracurriculars, throughout the year, there will still be some more approvals that we're still waiting for as things come up. But these are a lot of the ones that were posted for approval at the beginning of the school year. We've got after-school program personnel, which gives the school the ability to pay people who work the after-school program. We're approving them to work with kids and be here in the building. We've got personnel appointments for all of the substitutes that we've approved so far that Sonia has interviewed or has asked back. So again, that's an annual sort of list that needs to be updated. We've done a really good job of increasing our substitute list, where we haven't, thankfully gotten into many problems with being short. But again, the more we have, the better the opportunity is to make sure that we've got people. The next one is field trips. These are just about all field trips that will be taking place in September or at the very beginning of the school year. We're going to have several more of these resolutions as the school year goes on, because as I mentioned this morning, I have encouraged the staff to book more field trips to get the kids out of the building. And having those real life applications. We've got the job description for the utility aide, which I shared with everybody, which outlines the responsibilities of those workers. We've got an acceptance of a resignation for Ms. Katie Kukowski, who was formerly a 1-2 teacher. She has taken a position in a school a lot closer to where she lives, for the benefit of her family. So we'll obviously miss her, but formally we do need to accept that resignation. And then finally, we've got the revised 23-24 calendar for the school calendar. When I set up the marking period dates in the system, it became clear to me that the date that we had initially put for progress reports and for the parent-teacher conferences in February was only a week and a half before report cards were due. And the real purpose of the midterm conferences is to give kids an opportunity to pick up their grades or to make whatever changes they have to do before report cards come, which is why we switched to that model. So looking at that, I actually talked to one of the union co-presidents. I talked to Jeff, and we had agreed that it would make sense to actually push that back by 2 weeks. So the new date for parent-teacher conferences would be February 1st, as opposed to the 15th or whatever it was. But that's the only other difference, and those are the resolutions.
Okay. Any comments or questions or anything regarding resolutions from the public?
I want to say wonderful farewell to Ms. Wachowski.
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of working with her as a lower school teacher and also as a team member as kindergarten. She's sourly missed already.
We'll miss you, Katie. Thank you for all your hard work if you're listening. Anybody else? Okay, and I know open comment for public. I know Ms. D wanted to maybe talk a little bit about Hispanic Heritage Month.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Desiree Wang, and this year I'm the FAST chair, which is the abbreviation is Families and Schools Together Working for Children. That is part of the Teaneck Community Charter School Education Association, which is part of the NJEA, in case anyone doesn't know. But this year, one of the activities that I'm working on is Hispanic Heritage Month. With that, I have it, we're collaborating with FDU and the Teaneck Public Schools. The program will be, the festivities will happen on FDU campus. at the Student Union Center. This night will be from 6 to 10 p.m. And we're asking for students from each school, which will be BF, Thomas Jefferson, and the high school, to also collaborate with presenting or representing their country. So we're gonna divide that up between all the schools as well as FDU. What we're trying to do is have the students present, the ones that want to, present their country by representing it on a trifold poster board. And they will be, as soon as you walk in, that will be the first thing that you see. We will have also the art, which Miss Abby will be helping with. It's gonna be an art class section during the night. So Miss Abby's gonna do 2 sections from 6:30 to 7:30 and 7:30 to 8:30. We're gonna also have performing arts section where we're asking whatever students from each school, if they would like to perform. We have a lot of parents already from here that are willing to perform, a lot of jazz artists, musicians who already have said yes. We have some students that I did speak to that are willing to perform from other schools. The high school, which have a great performing arts program, Mr. Medina, he's also contributing to that as well. So it's supposed to be a great night. We're gonna have Zumba class, salsa class. I already went out and spoke to many restaurants. I have 4 already that are donating food. So I'm still working on trying to get more. But if there's anything that you want to add to the event, please do, because this is about the community. So right now, everything's in pencil. So if there's something else that you feel that the students would enjoy doing, please let us know and then we can add it to it.
Thank you.
September 28th,
That's
all ages. Yes. And it's free. There's no charge. Yes.
Thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Thanks,
great.
Des. No, we had a very productive meeting with the reps from FDU. They came by and kind of explained, what they do, and they're very accommodating, I will say, in terms of opening up their their space and really providing a lot of the legwork when it comes to organizing. So that was really helpful. But yeah, no, thanks for setting it up, Des.
September 28th, this is Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. And one of the other organizations that's helping is called Hispanic Center, which is actually part of FDU, which is really amazing. They have a lot of students from different countries that have many talents, and they're going to be helping with the art as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Dean.
you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Anyone share? No? Okay. So we're ready for resolutions.
All right, I'm working 2 screens here. Go for it.
Okay. Resolution 2308-01, budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for June 13th, 2023 to June 30th, 2023, total amount of $178,718.21 be approved. Moved by Gilchrist, moves. Carter seconds. Carter, yeah. Any questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-02, budget summary. Be it resolved that the budget summary for July 3 to August 28th, 2023, total amount of $441,549.50 be approved. Moved by McGilchrist, moves. Second. Carter seconds. Any other comments from the board?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-03, SBA Financial Report, June 2023. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the SBA Financial Report for June 2023. Moved by Mitchell, moves. Second. Lazoo seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Hadnot, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-04, school physician. Be it resolved that the TCCS board approve the appointment of Dolores Boulin, MD, as school physician for the 2023-2024 school year at a rate of $3,500. Moved by Carter moves, second. Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Happy to have a physician. Bahari.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Lazul.
Yes.
McGilchrist.
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-05, Annual Report. Be it resolved that the board approve the submission of the 2022-2023 Annual Report. Moved by McGilchrist moves, second. Carter seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazul? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-06, Grant of Application Submissions. Be it resolved that the board approve the submission of the 2022-2023 ESEA IDEA grant applications for the following allocations. ESEA Consolidated Title 1A, $38,211. Title 2A, $7,069. Title 4, Part A, $10,000. IDEA Consolidated Basic, $83,899. Preschool, $2,422. Moved by? Lazul moves, second. Gonzalez seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
What exactly is this grant?
So this is a federal grant every year that we have to apply for. There's often questions about the preschool allocation there. While we don't have a preschool, that actually applies to our kindergarten enrollment. Sure.
Any other comments or questions? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazul?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-07, Emergency Virtual or Remote Instruction Plan. Be it resolved that the board approve the 2023 Emergency Virtual or Remote Instruction Plan. Moved by? Mitchell moves, second.
Carter.
Carter seconds. Questions or comments from the board? Hope we never use it.
Mhm.
Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazul?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-08, Personnel Appointments, Summer 2023. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the following Summer 2023 appointments. Dana Durham, I hope I'm not saying that. Juliana Germinario, Isabel Landers, Sean Lloyd, Athos, Vard Nodius? Athos V. Discipline Code Review and Revision, $25 an hour. Moved by? Lazul moves, second.
Carter.
Carter seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
Can you repeat those names?
No. Any other questions or comments from the board? Sorry, Athos. Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazul?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-09, Personnel Appointments. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the following appointments for the 2023-2024 school year. Linda Pizzuti, part-time LDTC, $57,078, MA 15.6 full-time. And then Pamela Rosario, paraprofessional and ELL teacher, $45,495. I don't have to go through the guide.
No.
Addie Ors, did I say that right? Okay. Spanish teacher, $55,415. Genesis Betancourt, first grade teacher, $58,975. John McGovern, 5-6 teacher, science teacher, $72,455. Mark Dempsey, head custodian, $62,000. Moved by? McGilchrist moves. Second? Lazul seconds. Any questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, the ELA teacher that you were telling us about, you said she got a certification, but did she pass any tests that say she can teach that in school? Okay, so I wasn't clear on the certification she had.
She has to enroll in her program and pass a certain amount of tests to have kind of like a provisional license.
Right.
And then by mentoring and whatever else the state says, she has a couple of years to like finish while she has her provisionals.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mizzou?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Can I ask a question? Another one? I see you have custodian, I just noticed that. As I
You
was
sent an
looking-
email.
Right, I mean, I did email the board. That's-
No, and I said it before too, I
Right.
thought, with the personnel update.
I just said, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You don't say anything to tell me.
No, but we know what you're talking about. So wait, but so is he still until October? Is that my understanding from the email, like the contract still goes to October? Or is he no longer here at all?
Yeah, I'm not at liberty to discuss personnel here. But what I can tell you that Mark Dempsey was hired. He's actually had to give 30 days from his current district. He's working with us temporarily on a part-time basis to transition because he's going to be working nights in his other place. But he'll start with us officially September 25th.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Had not abstained. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-10, personnel appointments, extracurricular. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the following extracurricular appointments for the 2023-2024 school year.
Whole list is there.
Give you a second to look at the list. There's a lot. Can you see? Can you zoom, make it bigger? There you go. Better? Okay, you ready? Wait, hold on. We're gonna move it first. Move by, it's okay. You can move it.
Oh, Carter.
Carter, second? Mizzou. Okay, go right ahead.
There's detention on Saturdays?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Good
Good that you didn't know that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Last
that's
year
something we added that a couple years ago, actually. It's,
Mhm.
it's not all that frequent, but we do have a new discipline code though.
Parents too, I guess, right? You gotta get them here. Any other questions or comments from the board? Everybody ready? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-11, after-school program personnel. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached after-school program personnel and positions list for the 2023-2024 school year. Moved by
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, moves second. Mitchell seconds. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none. Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-12, personnel appointment substitutes. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the attached substitute list for the 2023-2024 school year. Substitute teachers will be paid at a rate of $150 per day. Moved by
Carter.
Carter, moves second.
Mizzou.
Lazoo seconds.
I don't have, you guys have the list
Oh, okay.
technically.
I thought you put it up.
No.
Bahari? Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries.
Are we still keeping some?
Yeah, always.
Resolution 2308-13, field trips. Be it resolved that the TCCS Board approve the following field trips for the 2023-2024 school year. September 22nd, All Steed Farms, grades 3 and 4. September 29th, All Steed Farms, grade K. September 29th, Health Barn USA, grade 2. October 4th, Boundless Adventures, grades 7-8. October 5th, Tenafly Nature Center, grades 3 and 4. October 6th, City Growers, grades 7-8. March 13th, Tenafly Nature Center, grade 1. Gotta get 6th grade on there. No
I
sixth
talked to
graders.
them. We're going to have trips, I told you. What was that?
It's
So
pumpkin.
that's apple picking, yeah. And I mean, historically, that's been a K trip we've done for many years, but actually our current third and fourth graders never got to go on that trip because of the timing, so.
Oh, we didn't even move yet. Moved by? Gonzalez moves second. Bazoo, sorry. I could have done it too. Any other questions or comments? No? Questions? Comments? Okay, Bahari?
Yes, but Applebee's is miserable when kids.
And Natalie said she'll volunteer. She'll go.
You missed it? What? They said,
Carter? Gonzalez? Lazoo? McGilchrist? Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-14, job description, utility aid. Be it resolved that the TCCS board approve the attached job description for utility aid. Moved by? Had not moved. Second? McGilchrist seconds. Questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo? McGilchrist?
Yes.
Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries. Resolution 2308-15, acceptance of resignation. Be it resolved that the TCCS board accept the resignation of Katie
Kwiatkowski.
Sorry, Katie, effective August 31st, 2023. Moved by McGilchrist, moves second. Gonzalez seconds. Thank you for everything you did, Katie, while you were here. Best of luck. Any other comments or questions from the board? Bahari? Oh, sorry, everybody's sad. Bahari?
Yes.
Carter? Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo? You have to, right? McGilchrist? Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries.
Oh, one more.
Resolution 2308-16, the revised 2023-2024 calendar. Be it resolved that the TCCS board approve the revised 2023-2024 school year calendar. Moved by? Carter moves second. Had not seconds. Questions or comments from the board? Bahari?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Lazoo?
Yes.
McGilchrist? Mitchell? Had not, yes. Resolution carries.
I'm sorry, who moved in second?
Carter and me had not. This meeting is adjourned at 8:14.
No, I wanted to say.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks to Mr. Kaido for the amazing, theaters on campus here.
Yay.
Someone's daughter, started.
Oh.
Yay.
Yes, the ice cream please.
No pressure.
Anybody else have anything to say?
Well, I know since we said Mr. Kyle, I want to thank Ms. Abby as well for the program because they both put
Yes.
it together. So thank you for both.
And welcome to all the new staff, right? We have a lot of new
Yeah.
staff members. So.
No, it's an excellent start to the year today. No, it was a very good day of PD. We got a couple more days, but no, we definitely started off on a positive note. And again, thanks to the TCSCO for helping out with that. And I just remembered I have to order bagels for tomorrow. So that's all I got.
It was a very nice spread.
Yes,
They had a
I know.
very nice spread. And everybody was very smiley. The staff was positive and happy, so it was fun. Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 8:16 p.m.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Oh my God, I didn't say anything. You have to schedule a date.